Hi everyone, I'm Julie.
I'm Taylor.
And welcome to Tea Hive.
On this episode, we're going to be talking about the differences between Gongfu style brewing and Grampa style brewing.
So we will be using two different types of white tea. One is from Tea Book called White Cloud, and the other one is going to be Yunnan sourcing white tea called Yunnan Yu Guangbei Air Dry White Tea Spring 2017. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Tea Book White Cloud, and yeah, let's get started.
We've added water into the thermos. It's 180 degrees, so we're going to keep this water exclusively for this cup to make sure that everything is, at the right temperature. We've added tea to both brewing vessels. We have a mug here with about the same amount of leaf as what's in here, if not a little bit more, just because this is a lot larger. This is 400 milliliters of water, whereas this is only 100.
Yeah, this is tiny.
Typically, you want to be using, a smaller leaf to water ratio when it comes to Grampa style brewing, because it's going to be steeping in there the entire time.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and splash some water in that. Awesome. So all the leaves have floated to the top. We're basically going to wait until the majority of them have settled to the bottom. That should be anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. So hit it with the water.
I love this tea.
Yeah, this stuff's delicious. We're not going to bother washing, I don't think, because it's too rich for my blood.
Like, it kind of reminds me of the Minto Island green tea, where it has this, like, I don't know, it's sort of like a sweet, eggy,
Yeah, I can see that.
I think we should wait for this to steep, and we'll come back later once it's ready, and then we'll tell you what we think about it. Does that sound good?
Catch you on the other end. Alrighty, so we're back. We've let that steep for 7 or so minutes. We still got leaves kind of floating to the top, but most of them are pretty much at the bottom.
Yes.
We've just sipped at it just to make sure it's the right temperature.
It's
but
ready.
It's totally ready. The excess leaves are a little bit in the way, so typically you might, want to use like a spoon or something to get out of the way. We happen to have an extra Gaiwan lid, so we're pretty much going to just use that to move them. But, if you don't have a Gaiwan lid, then just use a spoon or whatever works.
Here we go.
I'm going to throw some more hot water in here. Just eating it all, huh?
Just gonna eat that.
Hardcore.
I love tea leaves.
I know you do. We know you do.
Especially these ones.
That's pretty good.
Yes, it is.
Pour that one out so I don't oversteep it.
Obviously not as faint as the first brew of the Gongfu brews.
The last few.
Yeah. It's got a little bit more body to it.
Okay. So we're about halfway down. Well, you probably can't
Just
see
drink.
it.
Oh.
Yeah, that was good. Sorry. We're about halfway down, so we're going to go ahead and splash some more water in there. That's typically what you want to do, is you just drink it and then add more water as you go. If you leave too little water there at the bottom, then you're going to have a really potent brew next time you pour some water on it. So that's why you typically want to that's why you typically want to refill it around halfway. It kind of keeps it more
Yeah, and that way you're not also
diluted.
tasting such a strong sip,
Yeah.
Once you hit the bottom, it's like, when you have hot cocoa and it's not quite stirred.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Exactly.
and the last, it's just like super thick.
Well, if you're me, you're just like, all right.
I'm
I'm okay with that.
This is what I've been waiting for. Okay. I'm getting less of an almond milk, almost more of like a heavy cream.
Can I try some
like
of that?
a whipping cream. Like butter. This one's just like steam milk. I don't know. It's interesting though. I mean, it's very faint, but I can taste that it's something's different about it.
I do feel like the Gaiwan's a lot more vibrant. We originally encountered Grampa style brewing out of a Gaiwan in a tea house in Portland, Oregon.
The Chinese garden.
Yeah, the Chinese garden. And basically they had served us tea in a Gaiwan and they just said, here you go, drink it. We were a little confused because we didn't know.
We were really confused. We were just like,
alright, so we'll pour this out.
Cups?
Yeah. But they informed us that you're just supposed to, drink it right out. The problem with that was it took like a long time for it to cool down, so that was kind of inconvenient.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I think it was really good. That was like our first encounter with Grampa style brewing. Haven't done anything really since then. We did a little bit yesterday to prep for this video, and it's important to note that you definitely want to be using
a mug
without, we used a glass, a see-through glass, obviously a see-through glass, but a glass, a tall glass, and it was too hot to hold.
So there's a safety tip, or you can just go ahead and do the Gaiwans. I think we're gonna do that in next videos, and I think it's a little bit more fancier, I think
it's more fun.
And I like the whole vessel is just like this ball, Gaiwan ball in my hand.
Right, I don't know if we showed, but you're essentially just holding it with the saucer and all. You'd get a bigger one than this. This is 100 milliliters, but you basically just hold it like so, and then sip at it using the lid as a strainer, and then refilling it halfway through. You want a bigger one, obviously, so that way you're not taking a sip and having to refill it constantly. It's more fun that way, but we just use the mug because not everybody has Gaiwans, and everybody's pretty much got a mug, so. Yeah, that's also another tip, is when you're re-pouring water in there, make sure you're pouring it kind of from up high, just to get it, or some way to basically agitate the leaves in there, so you're kind of stirring it all together, or just use a spoon. I don't think it's fair to say one's better than the other. I think that this is excellent for tasting or socializing, or just if you want to like meditate. It's kind of meditative, I guess. This is great if you're just running, if you're in a hurry, you're on the go, and you just want to take some tea with you.
Yeah.
Apparently that's how most people do it in China, is they actually just throw it in their mug or a thermos and then keep adding hot water. All right, let's add a little bit more. Let's finish this off.
Do it high. Just like you said. Go that way. Woo! That was close.
Okay, so we're back. We boiled some more water, and this time we're going to be brewing up Yui Guang Bai, a white tea from Yunnan sourcing, and basically just to see if there's any major differences that we can tell. Each tea that you're brewing, Grampa style versus Gongfu style, is going to have different notes that come out and whatnot, just as you would expect. So we're basically just going to see what the differences are and try to relay them to you. We're going to let this guy steep. We just filled it up. Again, we're going to hopefully let the leaves settle, at least for the most part. That'll be probably 10 minutes again. But for now, we're going to go ahead and taste this stuff.
Very clean. Really hydrating. Yeah. It's very light, but there's some sweetness in it.
Oh yeah, very sweet.
I don't know what kind though. Like, would you say
sugary?
Just sugary?
Like a snap pea.
It's a little like cooked sugar.
So for me, I feel like this is a much more sweet. Snap peas, marshmallows. Really sweet, but not necessarily, not like a fruitiness kind of sweetness, just kind of like a sugary kind of sweetness.
Yeah, I suppose that's like what I mean.
And then of course there's, undertones of like hay and earthier tones. But I think this is going to be a really good one to actually Grampa style. Let's see where we're at. Okay. And if it's
not hot.
If it's not
That's
incredibly hot. Yeah, it looks dark.
It's like, almost looks like a black tea.
It's definitely more leaning towards bitter. It's not bitter, but it leans towards bitter.
It's grassy.
Grassy.
Like, but like hay. Just like as I was.
Dried grass.
Yeah.
This lid is on its way out. It's got a massive crack, almost all the way from end to end. But until then, we're using it.
Nothing goes to waste.
Nothing goes to waste. Alright, cool. I like that one. This one definitely has like different tastes. So this one is more like, if you're searching for something sweeter, you'll definitely want to throw it in a gaiwan. If you're searching for something more earthy, a little more bitter, maybe more potent, you could throw it in a mug. You really have to experiment with it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to, and don't ever stop experimenting with your teas.
Yeah.
There's always something else that you can throw at it. There's always like an interesting something that you can do with your tea. Whether it's using, different types of water, spring water versus alkaline water versus that other type of water where
Distilled.
it gets distilled water also, yeah. But I wasn't thinking of that. Reverse osmosis. That's what I was thinking of. There's all those. You can test temperatures, leaf ratio, different brewing vessels, porcelain gaiwan versus like if you have a Yixing pot or, some sort of clay pot. Just don't stop experimenting and you're going to find something that's more interesting. You might not like it better, but something might show up that is different.
You never know until you try it.
Yeah. And Grampa style is a good place to start because it's easy.
Mm-hmm. In conclusion of this video, I think it's kind of obvious that these are two different brewing styles. There's not really necessarily one is better than the other. I think as far as what the heck? Ew!
I'm sorry, it's so many leaves just in my mouth. I couldn't swallow them all. Anyway.
Could kill you.
I deserve it. Go ahead.
Anyway. So again, these are obviously two different brewing styles. Gongfu style is really appropriate if you want to figure out the quality, like the tasting notes of the tea. This is very casual. It's really good in the setting of just hanging out by yourself, or you don't want to do all the you don't want to do all the steps of Gongfu brewing, and you just kind of want to relax, don't want to get up, refill your cup with water, and keep reboiling. And then this is obviously a really great setting when you're with friends. Like Taylor said, with just kind of the meditation part of it, it's just really nice to relax.
Yeah, I think it really boils down to just this Gongfu style is a great way to get to know your tea. Mm-hmm. This is a great way after you've known your tea.
Yeah.
And you can start experimenting with other methods of brewing.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's using different types of brewing vessels or temperatures, like after you've figured out your leaf ratio and your water temps, this is a great way to do it. And it's also a great way to get rid of some of the teas that are on the back burner.
Yeah. Which tea do you like better in which style brewing?
Okay. Tea book for sure wins the Gongfu.
I agree.
Tea book is, I think tea book's personally a better tea than this one. They're definitely different. It's not that like this one is of lower quality or anything. It just doesn't have those notes that I like. This one tastes like Fruit Loops, and I like Fruit Loops. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
And the leaves are actually a lot prettier, so it smells better. This one's more, it's almost dustier in a way. Not necessarily to a fault, but it's there. This one's more vibrant.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tea Book's more vibrant. But this one actually is better Grampa style.
Yeah.
I think.
Uh-huh.
I think that it's a little more, I don't know, I don't want to say that it's better Grampa style. I think that definitely there's qualities in Gongfu style that you can take out that are better features. Grampa style might be a better back burner tea situation, and this guy was definitely on the back burner. So, I mean, we use the rest of it, so.
I like it in Grampa style. We've had this tea. We're done with it as of now. And just kind of tasting it in Grampa style.
It's new.
Yeah, it's new. And like, I kind of wish I tasted that. Like what we taste in here in Gongfu Brewing, you know?
Right, and that's things that you can address even. You can add more leaf into the Gongfu, and you can add more, you know, hotter or cooler water or whatever, you know, like what you produce in here most likely can be reproduced in here, but you definitely can't reproduce here in here, if that makes sense. So, you know, it's just another way to test out a tea, experiment, have fun with it, and take it on the go. If you guys enjoyed the video, we would love it if you guys gave us a thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to see more of our videos, hit that subscribe button. Also, we know that there are plenty of better teas to be Grampa style brewing. Tall sencha, I think it is called. Green tea is supposed to be one of the better teas to do it with. Tall leaf. Tall leaf. Anyway, so if you guys know of a better Grampa style brewing tea, let us know in the comments below and we'll totally check it out.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Bye guys.